Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready to dive into something kind of wild? We're going to see if we can actually measure goodness today.
Measure goodness. Now, that's an interesting thought. It's not every day you get to combine philosophy, math, and maybe even physics all in one go.
Right. I mean, we always talk about what's right and wrong, but this YouTube video, it's from Research Forum Online. They call it the probability of goodness. It's like they're saying there's a formula or something.
Probability of goodness. Haven't run across that one before. Color me intrigued.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready to dive into something kind of wild? We're going to see if we can actually measure goodness today.
Measure goodness. Now, that's an interesting thought. It's not every day you get to combine philosophy, math, and maybe even physics all in one go.
Right. I mean, we always talk about what's right and wrong, but this YouTube video, it's from Research Forum Online. They call it the probability of goodness. It's like they're saying there's a formula or something.
Probability of goodness. Haven't run across that one before. Color me intrigued, though. It does make you wonder if there's a different way to think about how we make ethical choices.
Totally. They basically say choosing good, it's not just like a nice idea. It's the most logical choice if you really look at what might happen. They actually have this whole four-step process, all about using probability to figure out ethical problems.
Probability and ethics. All right, you've got my attention. Lay it on me.
Okay, so step one is we'll figure out what the problem actually is. Seems obvious, but you got to start somewhere. Then you got to brainstorm all the things that could happen because of your choices. Good and bad, throw it all in.
Makes sense so far.
Right. So then here comes the math. Got to figure out how likely each of those outcomes is. And then based on those probabilities, boom, you go with the choice that seems like it'll lead to the best result.
So they're basically saying being ethical, it's like good strategy. We're doing risk assessment, but for morality.
Exactly. Like being good just makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But here's where it gets really wild. They go on about how good actions can actually change how everyone's feeling, like measurably.
This is where that emotional contagion idea comes in, right? Like when you see someone do something super kind and it just brightens your whole mood, you just kind of catch their good vibes.
Oh, for sure. It's like, oh, remember that time when...
Yeah, exactly. That's emotional contagion at work. Psychologists are doing all this research now about how our emotions, they don't just stay inside us. They can actually impact everyone around us, whether we realize it or not. Think of it like a ripple in a pond.
So even our small actions can have a ripple effect. Huh, never thought about it like that. Makes you realize every interaction matters.
Totally. And get this, the video even suggests this ripple effect. It might not just be with people we know directly. They bring up this whole energy fields thing, like our good actions are adding to some kind of, I don't know, good vibes balance in the world or something.
Okay, now that part, that's where I'm like, really? Energy fields?
Yeah.
Is there actual science behind that?
Good question. And honestly, they get kind of vague on the details there. They don't actually name any specific studies or anything, so it's definitely more of a what if,
Right.
you know? But it does make you think.
About?
Well, think about the placebo effect, where if you believe something will work, like a medicine, your body might actually start to get better, even if it wasn't a real medicine.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard of that.
Right. So if our minds can have that kind of power over our own bodies, is it really that crazy to think our actions could be doing something to the world around us? Maybe not literally energy fields, but something we just don't fully grasp yet?
Makes you think, for sure. But, okay, hold on tight, because the video kind of takes a turn from there. They start talking of something they call quantum morality. Like,
Right.
our choices, good or bad, could be messing with different realities. It's a lot.
Yeah, that's where they get pretty out there. It's like they're taking this idea from quantum physics superposition. Have you heard of that?
Maybe. It's a little fuzzy.
So it's like this. In the quantum world, tiny stuff, a particle, it can be in multiple states at the same time until you actually measure it. Like imagine a coin is both heads and tails until you flip it. The act of looking is what decides.
Okay, yeah, I gotta remember that now, but
Yeah.
what's that got to do with morality?
Well, they're saying maybe our choices are kind of like that measurement. Like what we decide doesn't just change things for us. It collapses all these possibilities, maybe even on a universal scale.
Wait, so you're telling me if I choose to recycle this can, that's impacting the entire universe somehow?
It's a very abstract idea. And to be fair, they don't really give any hard proof for this. More of a thought experiment, you know?
Yeah.
But it does make you wonder, how connected is everything, really?
I'll say, definitely something to ponder.
Yeah.
And then, just when I thought it couldn't get wilder, they bring up karma. good old-fashioned, what goes around comes around.
Right. And it's interesting, right? They put this idea of karma, something kind of spiritual, right alongside quantum physics, makes their whole argument a little unpredictable.
Yeah, because like if it's all about probabilities and outcomes, where does cosmic justice even fit in?
Exactly. It's almost like they want us to think on both levels at the same time. So you've got your careful choices, we can see what they cause, right? But also this gut feeling that our actions have consequences, even if we don't see them right away.
So not instant karma, but more like the long game.
Right. Whether or not we literally believe in karma, our choices, they echo, maybe not right away, but they help shape the world we're creating, for better or worse.
Okay, I'm with you there. But you know what's funny? After all that high-level stuff, the video actually ends on a very grounded note.
Oh, what do they say?
They're basically like, hey, whatever you did in the past, it's never too late to start choosing good. They even give redemption, like a 90% probability.
Yeah. That's actually kind of beautiful. Speaks to how we can always grow and change, We can get so stuck on our mistakes, but they're saying, hey, you can make new choices now and change your future. It's never too late.
For sure. It's like that saying, best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, second best time is today.
I love that. We're not just our past actions, right?
Yeah.
Every moment is a chance to choose differently, and those choices, they matter.
Right. Makes you think about choices differently. And
Mm.
speaking of, there was this other thing that kind of stuck with me. They talk about how even those like small bad choices, the ones we barely notice, those can snowball into big consequences down the line.
Oh, yeah, that whole butterfly effect thing, right.
Yeah.
Like their example about not holding a door open for someone.
Yeah. That one felt a little extreme, I gotta say. Like, really? That can make
Oh,
that much
yeah.
difference.
See, that's their point. We do that all the time, right? Dismiss the little things. But when you zoom out, how everything connects. One choice leads to another and another. It's not so far-fetched.
So less about instant karma, more like cause and effect, just playing out over time.
Exactly. They even say, like, imagine a supercomputer, some crazy AI, and it's programmed to analyze all this, right? Every outcome of every choice. They think it would pick goodness every time, just because it adds up to the best results.
Wow. So maybe being good, it really is the best strategy in the end. Like, want to predict the future? Go create it.
Right. That's what this whole deep dive has been about, hasn't it? Getting us to rethink goodness. It's not just rules or avoiding bad stuff. It's actively choosing what makes things better for us, for everyone, however we define that.
Lots to chew on, for sure. And they actually tell people, hey, go to Research for Online, their website, if you want to see the actual research behind all this.
I just might do that. It's one thing to chat about it, but seeing the studies and all, that'd be fascinating.
Totally agree. Well, on that note, I think my brain's officially full for one day. How about you?
Definitely ready for a nice, calming cup of tea after that one.
Me too. Big thanks to everyone listening in. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive as much as we did. Keep those big questions coming. We'll catch you next time.